What's up, everybody? It's your boy Big JT coming at you with my Week 10 college football predictions and analysis. And we have Georgia versus Kentucky, and I'm very, very excited for this game. I've been waiting for this game ever since Kentucky beat Florida, and I was praying that Kentucky only loses one game, and I got that. And this is basically another semifinal game that will decide who controls their fate in the SEC East. Both of these teams only have one SEC loss. They both have wins over Florida. So basically, whoever wins this game, if they win out, is going to be facing most likely either LSU or Alabama in the SEC championship. Now, I'm going to say my thoughts for this game when it comes to do my predictions. So I'm just going to go right into the stats. So the Kentucky offense versus the Georgia defense. Kentucky offense is less to be desired. They are 103rd in the nation in total yards per game on offense. They average 362.1. They are 118th in passing yards per game on offense with 148.1 passing yards per game. They are 31st running the ball with 214 rushing yards per game. And they average 25.6 points per game, which is 94th in the country. So this Kentucky offense is less to be desired, but it doesn't matter because they show up when they need to. So as long as you show up when you need to in order to win the game, that's all that matters really. So the Georgia defense is good, as we all know. Top 15 in the nation. They're 14th in yards per game given up, allowing 306.1 yards per game. They're 9th in passing yards per game allowing 165.6 passing yards per game. They're 43rd stopping the run, allowing 140.5 rushing yards per game. And they only allow 16.4 points per game. So pretty solid numbers. I still believe that the defense from last year was a lot better. I'm pretty sure a lot of Georgia fans will agree with me on that. And let's compare the Georgia offense to the Kentucky defense. So Georgia is averaging 457.8 yards per game on offense, which is 28th in the country. They average 236.1 passing yards per game, which is 65th in the country. They're 27th in the country in rushing yards per game with 221.6. And they average 38.6 points per game, which is 20th in the country. Now, this Kentucky defense, which is, in my opinion, the best defense in college football, they allow 295.3 yards per game, which is 10th in the country. I think this is yards per game allowed is a underrated stat in my opinion. It's not the most important, but it's underrated because if you can hold a team from under 300 yards per game in this modern day of college football, where we have all the rules and all these unique offenses which are designed to tire out the defense, and all these rules are to make it harder on the defense. If you are able to keep a team from having over 300 yards per game, you have a good defense, because that is very, very hard to do in this modern age of college football. They're also 24th in passing yards per game allowing 186.8, which is also impressive. And they're 17th in the nation stopping the run, allowing 108.5 rushing yards per game. And this is the most important stat that I believe nobody really talks about. Points per game allowed. They're second in the country, tied with Clemson for first, with 13 points per game allowed. This Kentucky team is one of the only, I believe it's the only team in the SEC not to allow an opponent to score more than 20 points. No team has put up more than 20 points other than Texas A&M. And the only reason Texas A&M put 20 points on Kentucky is because of that game went into overtime. So this Kentucky defense is very, very good. Now it's time to get into my keys to victory that each team needs to do to win this game. Georgia needs to stop the run, force Terry Wilson to beat them through the air, which we have been seeing a bunch of teams do. If Terry Wilson cannot use his legs, then he becomes very, very one-dimensional, and his Kentucky offense is already one-dimensional, so they need to stop the run. and they need to establish their run game, their own run game, and get out to an early lead. If they do both of these things, they will control the time of possession, and they will tire out this Kentucky defense. And as we have seen this Kentucky defense get tired out plenty times. But when they get tired, the star player Josh Allen makes a play, and they're going to have to stop him if they want a chance to win this game. And I forgot to put that on them because this guy is an absolute game changer. He is a record. He can single-handedly destroy Georgia by himself if he wanted to, because this guy had at least 3 sacks against South Carolina. I don't care what nobody says. If one player gets 3 sacks against an SEC opponent, you're legit. So they need to stop Josh Allen. It's not listed, but it just needs to be acknowledged. Terry Wilson also has to play the best game he's ever played, because that drive against Missouri was incredible. He needs to play like that against his Georgia team if Kentucky wants a chance to beat Georgia. The defense has to stop the run, as we know, and they have to control the time of possession, because they need to give their defense as much breaks as possible. So the team I have winning this game, I have Kentucky winning this game. And now I know a lot of Georgia fans are going to start going crazy in the comment section talking about you really think Kentucky is going to beat us? Yes, I do, because you Georgia fans think this Kentucky team is a pushover. And this Kentucky team is far from a pushover. This Kentucky team is legit. As Florida, as Mississippi State, this Kentucky team is nothing to lick your chops at and think it's an easy win. Because you Georgia fans think that you guys are going to roll into Lexington and destroy Kentucky, then you have another thing coming for you, because this defense is legit. This defense is probably one of the best defense I have seen in all my years watching college football. You Georgia fans, if you guys manage to win this game, it's going to be a close game regardless. I like Kentucky to win 20-14, but if you guys manage to win this game, it's going to be a hard-fought game, and it's going to be very close. But you guys think that you guys are going to storm into Kentucky and beat them 45-10, even though you guys got dragged by LSU 38-16. You guys got another thing coming for you, because this Kentucky team is exactly identical to the LSU team. They have a capable quarterback, they have a great defense, and they have a good running game with a great running back. So if you guys think that you guys are going to come in here and absolutely demolish Kentucky like how you guys think, then you guys have another thing coming, because this Kentucky team has a lot of things that we don't see in college football a lot, and that's grit, finding ways to win when everything isn't going right. That's grit. When nothing is going right, you're not able to get a first down like what they were doing against Missouri. They had about 8 3-and-outs. Finding ways to win games. That's grit. And that's what this Kentucky team has. And that's what they do. They find ways to win games. And that's what they're going to do against Georgia. They're going to find a way to win this game. And they're going to beat you guys. Now, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe.